So many people have asked about how George and Grace are doing in their new business venture with Don't Be Boring. You guys ever duke it out, or
Are you kidding?
It's going. It's fast.
what was something that was just like a massive win for you?
We wanted to show that we care.
Yeah, Grace has hung up on me, and
Who's the boss?
I'm assuming you're cutting this out.
That should be a learning lesson.
Everyone was doubting me.
So many people have asked about how George and Grace are doing in their new business venture with Don't Be Boring, and I thought the easiest way to do that was to have a little potty. And
Potty.
Podcast.
I just wanted to sound like cooler.
Potty.
I don't think potty's the right word for that.
I don't think so either.
Pod.
Okay, the pod.
The
So
pod.
this is the pod. You're almost like you're at the family table with us, the dinner table 2020.
Dinner Table 2020.
Yeah, that's the name of our pod. Dinner table.
Definitely not the name of the pod, but
So many people are asking. Okay, 90 days ago, you drop your first merch, and Don't Be Boring. And how's it going?
I think it's going good. I think we're learning a lot. I think that we've came a long way in terms of where we started and where we're at now. And there's a long way to still go.
a very long way to go. And I think it went good. And I think we've learned a lot.
So that sounds pretty like vague, right? Like, I've learned a lot. It's been a process. That seems pretty generic. Could you be more specific? What, like, if you thought of the number one thing you've learned in the last 90 days of starting a business at 18 and 16, what's the number one thing you've learned?
Number one thing learned, I would say how to use, like, I would just say, like, time, how important time is in order for us to, like, be successful. That when we're not putting in, like, when we're not putting in as much as we know that we probably could, that the results, like, aren't there. The results don't show up out of nowhere. So if we're not, on task and completing things that we know need to get done in order to, like, reach goals, then we're kind of, like, just kind of screwing ourselves.
I agree with that. Time is huge. I feel that. How much time? You hear some people, they wake up early. They're just so geared to time and goals. And, yeah, you got to put time. What about you, Grace? Number one thing you've learned?
I think I learned time is a big one for us, and then also communication, how big communication is, especially when you are so far apart. Like, not maybe so far apart, like we're like maybe 2 hours, but that's still some distance where you're not coming into the office every week. You do have school, like communicating what papers you have, like all that stuff is a really big lesson.
And I think when we were in the creation of Don't Be Boring, I think there was a lot more time for us to really focus on it.
It was summer.
School. It was summer. Didn't have school. Was able to come into the office every day. We were close, same house. We'd always be communicating about it. And then ever since I went to college, you're still at school. School's back up. Lots of homework, papers, being on top of everything else that we do. All the other commitments we also have. It's
so a lot of people.
In work is
a lot of people have asked me, like, is this really, like, are they really doing it on their own, or is, like, other people, involved? Like, are you really doing this on your own? You feel like you have a team? Like, give a feel of, like, what's really, like, behind Don't Be Boring. Who does what? Give me the roles.
So I would say I'm creative, and I run our social medias, and so every TikTok, every Instagram post, I'm doing that.
Yeah, Grace is on social media. I'm on, I think, getting product, shipping out product, all that kind of the things you don't see on social media. Website, we had a lot of help with that. Brandon West, shout out Brandon. And then I think we have Kelsey as, like, kind of like the backbone that whenever we need maybe help on something or an idea on something or finishing up an Instagram post.
Yeah.
I think she's there to help a lot, especially if Grace is busy or I'm busy.
Especially if I'm at school, like, and we're doing something.
And then we have you.
Yeah.
What do I do?
You basically give us advice constantly.
You kind of, well, you gave us the opportunity to do it. So I think that's pretty big. You're probably an investor,
Our financial support.
our investor who's
Yeah.
who has who's in this thing. So we've got to
So every business
pay back our investors.
every business has
Investors.
an investor. They have a bank. They've got somebody that funded, and that's a major part of it. What do you think if you thought of a story or just your biggest win in the first 90 days? What was something that was just like a massive win for you?
A massive win. Well, I think we've had a few little wins. For me, I think that our like our biggest win to me when I see it is probably someone who actually like really likes what we created. So I think for us, having someone like Owen Keller who wears it a lot, likes it, seeing someone that actually like wears it and like kind of reps it when we don't even expect him to, and will create something for us. We're like, oh, like we didn't ask for that. Like, oh, you just did it. You just did it because like you liked it. Like, whoa,
like the immediate text back from him when he's like, of course I'll do this. Like I text him about the beach cleanup and I'm like, hey,
yeah, he's a solid person, a really solid person.
human being. And it's just like an immediate yes, of course.
So
that's hard to find.
So you find somebody that likes your product, they like your brand, they like what you guys are about, and you use this word like, oh, they actually liked it. Like, are you surprised that somebody actually would like what you
maybe
created?
The word's not actually liked it. Maybe just like, well, I guess you don't really know when you've made something whether people are going to like it or not. So when someone just likes it, then it's like, oh. Okay,
I mean, it's the risk factors. Like, we put this out, like, we're not expecting everyone to like it, but like when people do, that's a big win.
And we were pretty safe with it too. I mean, the drop is pretty safe.
The drop is really safe.
It's not really a high risk drop, but everybody, like in terms of the designs and stuff. But I think everyone who's tried on the clothes or bought a hat is surprised with how good the quality is, and I think that.
Yeah, you've said that. You think the quality's good.
I think the biggest thing for George, at least, when we were feeling all like our test hoodies was, I like that quality. It wasn't, oh, I like that design. It was like, oh my gosh, that quality is so good.
Yeah, I think that was definitely like one of the most important things in terms of like when we were creating it, was making sure it was something like that we would wear and be comfortable in. So
Owen was one of your biggest wins. Do you have another one, Grace? What biggest win in the first 90 days from your standpoint?
I would say Owen, and I would say the amount of support people had for us, like not
maybe like a Sam in terms of got our photos done.
Or
I think he was a pretty
oh
big
my
win.
gosh, yeah, the photo shoot, that was a big win. I love the photo shoot. I love the photos that came from that photo shoot. That was a win. That felt like real. That's when it felt so real for us. Like we were coming up with all these designs and stuff, but the minute we had these models and we're like, put on our hoodies, let's go take photos, and these photos, and we see it, it was so good. Like that moment felt so good. It was like good energy.
Yeah, it was a great kickoff. Carrying energy is really hard, right? Like you have this kickoff in a business, you have this, grand opening, let's go, it drops. And then all of a sudden, you've really got to go to work and you've got to sell this stuff. If you thought of selling something, why do you think people buy from you? Like, what is it? Do you think they like the brand? Do you think they like you? Do you think they like the quality? Why would somebody buy from Don't Be Boring? They like the message.
Yeah, I think it would be a number of things. I think ultimately for us and what I've seen, at least the people who buy our product, is like the people that want to support us, like friends and family who are willing to take a risk in buying something at don'tbeboringinc.com, don'tbeboringinc.com.
Yep.
I think that those are the people that like come through the most for us, I think. And at least that's what I've seen and I've felt.
That's pretty cool that you wrote a personal note to every order that you ship out, thanking somebody for their order. That's cool. Whose idea was that?
I feel like when we were talking about it originally, we wanted to show that we care.
Yeah, it was just when we were talking about what our packaging looks like. It was like that was like a no-brainer, and having something in there that wrote like, straight to the person with their name, with our names both on it, that we recognize them for purchasing something.
I mean, when someone puts their hard work money into something that you made, it just feels so good. And it's like, we want you to feel good in this hoodie, and we want to make sure you feel appreciated.
So like in some ways, if you've thought about it, and you've almost tried to create like a community, you almost try to create like a community of friends and family, and especially through surfing and through skate. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of those ways that we're really, trying to like demonstrate or like show that this community is something we want to value is through our beach cleanup that we have coming up this weekend, next weekend, November 11th, 2023. And
It's
we
from
want to
9 to
like
11.
we just want to get everybody like around it, supporting one of our local beaches, Seal Beach Southside, and like really getting that community together. Everyone that has shown support for us through this process and that we're hoping will show support in the future together in one place, doing something that's good for our world in general.
So like you're gonna do a beach cleanup
We are.
this coming Saturday.
November 11th. So this coming Saturday
At what
Yeah.
time?
at 9 to 11.
9 to 11.
And
Maybe
why
a surf session after. Maybe
Yeah,
hike to the
there is
jetty.
a surf session.
So a part of your brand is giving back and doing good.
Yes.
Like that's something you believe in. So this community you're trying to build, the friends and family, also has this component of like we want to give back and do good.
We want to be a part of something. Like, we want you to be a part of something. If we can do good, I feel like it just makes us feel good. It's like we're not just a hoodie brand. We're trying to do more. We want to help, you know?
Well, yeah, we talked about it like in the beginning of creating something, and even like with our launch, we were like, how would we incorporate something where we're doing good? And I think it took us a while I think it probably took us maybe a little too long to figure something. Like I feel like we're probably doing this a little too late, and maybe we should have figured it out earlier. But now that we're doing it, we're gonna try and make it really cool, and I think it's good that we like figured out like, okay, beach, clean up, don't be boring,
So
Beach.
I bet you
Beach.
so many people wonder, like,
no trash.
they always say siblings fight, people fight, whatever. Like, what is it like working with your sister? What's it like working with your brother? Like, you guys ever duke it out or?
We've gotten in maybe a few fights.
Yeah, Grace has hung up on me and hasn't called me back before.
That is not true.
It's true.
Oh, wait, that is true. I did.
It's true.
I got really upset.
Over.
And we weren't communicating very well, and it was just a day that I was so angry. George wasn't doing what I kind of asked him for weeks, and I find out something. No, hold on. No. I was asking for something, and I just needed it done, and I was stressed out.
Grace was stressed out.
I had embarrassed myself to get this point across about something. Maybe
What was it?
I think we won't name it yet.
we won't name it yet
It's
because
still kind of in the works.
So basically, I called George. I'm like, I can't believe you did this. Like, I just embarrassed
There was
myself.
just a miscommunication on multiple lines,
'Cause
and Grace got frustrated.
I got so mad. I just hung up the phone. I wasn't having a good day.
My communication style back to her wasn't correct, which I learned in my communication class at school the other.
What
last
was
week.
it? What
Well,
was
basically-
your communication?
Basically, what it was
message
is
at?
Grace was coming to me with something that she really was passionate about, like doing, and I was kind of just like,
Yeah.
okay, and
And
not
then he
like
was-
really acknowledging that what she was saying. So.
And it was like very like I was like this seems like such a good idea. Like, why wouldn't this be good? Like, so I was just so mad. Yeah, I've had a few mad. And then I think it's just
So mad this way. Is there ever mad this way?
yes. Oh my gosh.
He
yeah.
gets mad?
He gets mad.
Let's hear his situation.
Well, I think mine's a worse situation, but he gets mad to the point of like, Grace, it doesn't matter. Like, stop. Like just gets upset on like
Who's the boss?
him.
Oh wow.
But I wouldn't
Say
like
that
look
louder.
Clear.
Say
I
that
wouldn't
loud.
look at him and be like, "Oh, you're my boss." But I would say like,
I know. Why don't you do that?
"Hey, boss." Like, absolutely not.
Hey boss. Hey boss.
Hey, boss dog.
So other than the
Boss
beach,
dog.
other than the beach cleanup, what else is in store for Don't Be Boring? Like, what would you want somebody to know that maybe that's been following your story and journey to know about, like, what's next or anything about the brand?
That we are gonna launch new stuff, and it's gonna be
Well, yeah. Before Christmas, not two different new crew necks, but a crew neck is coming out in two different colors. It's gonna be new. It'll be here. It'll be in this shop before Christmas, and then I don't know if I should say this, but I think we're gonna do a Christmas sale for sure, I think that's what's going to go down as a Christmas sale on the Don't Be Boring Inc. shop. And
Heard it here
we want
first.
to, yeah, we want to get you guys.
You want to get the product in stockings?
We want to get it in stockings,
Oh my gosh.
presents, grandmas, grandpas, nieces, babies.
This is a brand for everybody.
This is a brand for everybody. No
No
one's left out.
No.
No one's left out.
No what?
No one's left out.
No one's left out?
No one's left out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in closing, everyone always wants to know, like, what's your like biggest mistake or regret, or I could have been better. What would you say that looking back, Monday morning quarterback, I could have done this better?
Oh, me?
Oh, maybe you have nothing.
Well, I think you.
Sorry, I was going to go. But
Well, I could go.
I think what I could have done better is I think we should have taken our time a little more. We decided that we were launching, like, when school started, we, like, decided this, and, like, I feel like we were very safe with what we put out for you guys. And it wasn't, we love the products we put out, and I just feel like it didn't represent.
Wish the products were riskier.
I wish the products
Wish
were
the products were
riskier.
riskier, but also on the timeline one, it was like you started school the day that we launched.
Yes, I did. I did do that.
But maybe you would say it's that you picked designs that you felt were more for everybody.
For everybody,
Generic.
yeah.
And now you're saying we feel like we really want to represent our age, maybe like our passions a little bit more.
Yeah, I think our passions, our age, and I think a lot of those will still fit a lot of different people. I don't think they're going to be super specific still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think brands, I mean, if you look at, like, brands are always evolving and changing artistically. I'm not sure that you would say that you were that artistic in your first launch. I think you felt
No.
like you could be more artistic.
Definitely.
Is that...
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree.
Yeah, definitely more artistic. Well, I wouldn't say that I'm an artistic person. I would say.
Oh, I would say I am.
How are you? How are you artistic?
Are you kidding?
Well, just tell me how could
I
you
took
be more
pottery for
artistic?
2 years. I paint.
Oh, here's what I was gonna say. I remember. Okay, what I was gonna say
My designs on
is
the
making
things.
Don't Be Boring. You know, not like on the hat you have. I think in the Surfer Girl it's pretty like dialed down. I think like making Don't Be Boring, you know, more of just like a tag. Making Don't Be Boring a tag and making it so like we could get me and Grace could find a bunch of people together that we all think have good style in their different ways. Have like a guy's style and a girl's style. Make them super separate and different. Make Don't Be Boring a tag and then just kind of do whatever
versus
we want.
like
Yeah.
meaning maybe
Besides like just having Don't Be Boring, you know?
maybe the
Yeah.
brand always isn't showing Don't Be Boring
Yeah,
in
it's
the
more
forward facing look. Yeah, I agree with that. But the brand continues to represent the values of Don't Be Boring and
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. Why don't you guys ask me
What
a
do you
question?
think people ask you a question?
Yeah, why don't you ask me a question? Ask me any entrepreneurial question, any advice right now. Hey, Dad, what do you think about this for the business?
If you're doing a sale, how much do you think it'll hurt you? Theoretically, or depending on what the sale would be.
So most people, when they think of what they're going to sell, they don't typically look at the full financial picture of a sale, right? So if I say 20% off, 40% off, does that mean that I still have margin? Am I going to still make money at selling it? Like, some people inflate their price so much, the 20% means very little, right? So I think the first thing is, you know your numbers so well. You know what you paid for something, you know what it costs to ship it, and you know your numbers really well. So if you know your numbers really well, then you could know how far you could discount something to where you don't get hurt. People that start just throwing discounts, and while they're discounting, they're losing money. And every time you lose money, you impact cash flow. You impact cash flow, and then you don't have the ability to be artistic in the future because you have no money to work with.
Yeah.
The whole thing of selling something and generating profits is so that those profits go back and building a brand, building a look, building an image. And I think the other thing that a sale does, a lot of times people are like, if it's for sale, it not a good product? And so I like brands that I typically don't ever see go on sale because it tells me that they're fully committed to the price point that they offered. Like, do you ever see Louis Vuitton at 30% discount? Now, it's a luxury brand, but the answer is you don't, right? They're committed. They're saying, we know someone will buy this product. Now, they've worked really hard to develop that brand. But I think in regards to a sale for Don't Be Boring, you might admit, hey, we think we created a safe design. Be a part of our first design. And as a thank you, we want to give off 20% or whatever the number is, or we want to throw in a hat. So think about providing more value to your customer versus just trying to save him money. Yeah, that's how I think. Grace, what do you got?
Value over saving money.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That sounds great.
Sounds enlightening
great.
right
What's
there.
a question you'd have for your dad in regards to business?
I was asking a question. I would ask you, how do you make your image stay the same even though you want to change products out?
So I think I just heard this actually last night, that there's a difference between a brand and a company. Those two things are very different. We protect our brand image because our brand is everything that you have. Like, think about, take a sweatshirt, right? It's like somebody could go to the store and buy 100 different types of sweatshirts, but somebody has to fall in love with the brand, like what it's about, what it represents, right? So, and all of us are individual brands. You're a brand, I'm a brand, and protecting what your brand's about. That's why, like, if you're ever following someone and all of a sudden they just become kind of different, their brand starts changing. And typically the brands that we follow and stay committed to are brands that we could count on. Every time you go to In-N-Out Burger, you know they're going to deliver. So their brand stays intact, and then as a company, they deliver on what they said their brand's about, right? What is it? What's their tagline? Quality, something. So I think quality's in it. But
Quality over quantity?
I don't think that's their
I
tagline.
don't think that is their tagline.
Whose tagline are we talking about?
But what I'm saying is I think In-N-Out Burger does such a good job of keeping their brand intact.
We're talking about In-N-Out Burger?
He's answering your question.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm so
put
hungry.
you to sleep?
No, I'm so hungry.
This is good. So I think Don't Be Boring. You have to get so clear on what your brand is about. And then as a company, make sure you deliver on the products that match that brand.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Quality you can taste. Thanks, Brandon. Quality you can taste.
Quality you can taste.
And that's true, right? You go to In-N-Out, it's like, it's good every time.
Actually, do you guys know most people don't like In-N-Out when they visit California?
I don't know where you just got.
I'm not
I think
kidding.
Like, I think
I don't
that's
think-
I'm not
absolutely
kidding.
opposite.
I don't
No.
think that's a stat.
No, actually, go on TikTok. So many people do not like In-N-Out
Grace
on
gets her
TikTok.
news from TikTok, and
It's the
that's why our
best news.
generation's screwed.
That's so great to know that you just said you got this information from TikTok. That should be a learning lesson to everyone. Well, let's kind of wrap this up. So in closing, your first 90 days of business, from a 1 to 10, rate it.
I would give it I would give it a 7, just in terms of how much I think that we're gaining from the experience.
So a safe positive. What would you give it?
5.
A 5.
We're only a little bit there. Like, we're not even close
so
to being
much more
where
to
we
go.
should be. You know, so halfway.
So what's an area, if you wanted to say I want to go from a 5 to 10, you want to go to a 7 to 10, what do you bring the business in the next 90 days that gets you to a 10?
I think more just reaching out, making sure this beach cleanup goes amazing. So make sure you guys are there.
Next thing that I think would make Grace's, well, let's go from what I would say from a 7 to a 10. 7 to a 10, I think it's going to be a lot. I think it's just going to be more marketing, and actually, like you said, being more specific. I think having people on our Instagram wearing Don't Be Boring and doing something like an activity or a sport, or, like me surfing in it.
Wow.
Like, I think having
That's
that.
such a good idea.
and just putting that out and just having something wear something and making it like less of a photo shoot look and more of like a not sports but like a activity, you know, motion. It's like it's going, it's fast. Nothing. It's not still.
By the way, I would like to add that
You know?
the biggest fight me and George got in was kind of over this, but that was my idea. Thank you.
Is it true you won't let your girlfriend wear it?
Oh
That's
my
such a
God.
crazy no, that's not true.
'Cause I've never seen her in it.
Actually, I've seen her in it.
I've actually
Thank
never
you.
seen her in it.
She has a hat.
She also has a crew neck.
She bought it.
So you didn't give her
I'm
it?
assuming you're cutting this out. I don't know why I'm still talking.
Does your boyfriend wear it?
Yeah.
Does your girlfriend wear it?
My
Yeah.
boyfriend, I have so many photos of him in this hat.
I haven't
My
seen.
boyfriend loves this hat, boys.
I haven't seen Melissa in it.
She's in it.
All right.
I feel like
That's
this is
that.
all getting cut. So.
It's not. This is running. Front.
Okay, well then, my boyfriend loves that pink hat right there. Brandon, make
what's
sure
your
you're-
what's your favorite?
Oh, this sweatshirt. I wear this. Me and my friends talk about how good this sweatshirt is all the time. We will only wear this, like, we'll put it on to bed. My friend told me she's worn it for a week straight. Like, week straight. She's not lying. Every night she sends me a photo of her
That's an
snapping.
intense way to say
Wow.
that. It's a
Okay, I like that. All right.
Go buy this. This is the comfortablest thing.
charcoal crew neck and the black and neon trucker hat. That's the go-to for me.
Those are your go-tos?
That's the combo.
Yeah. Cool. All right, well, good work. 90 days in. 5 to 10, 7 to 10. Work to be done. But
Work to be done.
and if you were to give any advice to somebody young that's trying to start a business and you had to say it in one sentence,
Do something you love.
Live life to the fullest and do what you love.
wow. So
Live, laugh, love.
So those are very generic. I'm talking about for starting a business.
Starting
like,
a
what
business.
would you give them? Like, this is my advice if you're starting
I have
a business.
advice.
Okay.
Be proud of what you put out. Be proud of everything, every social media post, every sweatshirt, the vibe you want to give off to people. Be proud of what you put out.
Are you
'Cause
proud?
I'm so proud. I'm very proud. I think I could put out more on social media. Got to get better content, but I think being proud of something just makes your motivation 10 times better. So,
Cool. That's cool. George, if you're
Yeah, just take your time. Make sure you've got a. Well, I would say create a bit. I would say create a bigger. I would say get people involved early. I would say get a lot of
Create a
people
team.
involved. Create a team. Create a team of people that you like and you respect, and they respect you, and they're willing to help you out and help shape whatever you have into something that's like cool that people like.
well, thanks for supporting these guys and the brand, and I hope you continue to follow them online and through their socials. And this has been
follow Don't Be Boring .inc on Instagram and on TikTok.
I don't think it's
Grace
Don't Be
is-
Boring .inc.
It's not.
It
Don't Be
is.
Boring Inc. It's not.
There's a
no
dot.
Is there a
Okay.
dot?
There's no dot.
There is a. I will pull it up right now. There is
Pull
a
it up
dot.
right now.
There's no dot.
Is there a dot, Brandon?
There's a dot.
Don'tBeBoringInc.com.
Don'tBeBoringInc.com.
There is a .com.
So it's dot.
No.
Commercial.
No.
No, not on the Instagram, Grace.
Yes, .inc. .inc, everyone. .inc.
Oh shit.
Dot
she's
.inc. Right there. Zoom in.
Grace, good W.
That's why she runs the social media.
Everyone was doubting me. Don't doubt me.
Don't doubt.
Don't doubt me.
Never again.
No, never.
I'm very proud of what we put out. So.
Bye.